Hello, hello, hello. Yes, you can't see me yet. I'm still trying to get the live stream working properly. If you can hear me, please give me a shout in the chat. I see there are two of us here. That's about it. I'm really trying to get this live for the past, I don't know, 45 minutes or so. Let me see if there is feedback and if I have everything up and running. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. Well, apparently I've got audio, so I've got audio and video. And let me see if I can switch. Hi. I just want to see if everything's going well. Yes, I can see myself. That's a great relief. I haven't done this in so long. So first, I want to apologize about my voice. It's not exactly up to scratch, I know. What I need to do is organize this a little better. Okay, I'm going to apologize. I'm going to have to look here. The chat is here and my documents are there. So let's get on with this. So hi there, I'm Pascal, and welcome to the new Home Automator live stream. Now, today I want to quickly talk about the state and the future of the channel, and then move to some practical applications of everything we've learned last year in my coding practices, tips and tricks, including adding sensors by converting my weather station from a flat file to a modular system. But before that, I want to address a few things. So yes, this will also serve to make sure that everything works for future live stream. And I may have to iron out some technical issues. Now, may I ask you to tell me if you can hear me loud and clear and if everything seems to be okay. In the meantime, I am going to start talking about the state of the channel and the state of my health. So I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is in many ways I am much, much better than I was. The bad news is I am not there yet. In fact, I may never be there. I've made no secret that I suffer from a condition known as CRPS, or Complex Regional Pain Syndrome. If you are interested, I will, after the live stream, leave a couple of links in the description. Also been diagnosed with polycythemia vera, which is a blood disorder. I mean, in no ways threatened. My life is not threatened by it, as long as I do take care of it properly and treat it with the seriousness that it comes. So I am doing that right now. It doesn't bring me any pain whatsoever, nowhere near as CRPS does. So just as a quick recap on CRPS, it is a pain syndrome, and it is a chronic pain syndrome. I've been living with this for nearly 10 years now. In fact, I've just done an interview, and when the interview comes out, I will link it in somewhere on YouTube, in either the community section or maybe even in this specific live stream. Now, how come I've been off the air for 9 and odd months? Well, to be honest with you, I didn't want to come on and look tired, look in pain, going ouch, 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 or coming to you because I'm drugged. And have my pupils completely open. I don't think I would have served you that way. Would have definitely not served myself that way. Things have changed. I am better, but my better is not in no ways perfect. So to give you an idea, there is something called the pain scale, and the pain scale goes from 1 to 10. And most people never experience ever. It's good that way because I wouldn't want anybody to experience that kind of pain. 10 is supposed to be the maximum pain that you've lived in your life. Unfortunately, I don't like that because it is more of a moving goalpost than anything else, but let's use it nevertheless in this case. If you know about, or if you're a woman, 10 is usually giving birth. CRPS is a few notches above that. So to your 10, for us, we're living at our maximum 13, 15. That's our maximum. In the pain scale itself, where you live at possibly a 0, we live at a 5, 6. That is permanent. We have, that's our baseline. That's where we are the lowest. I was, for the better part of the last year, above that. I was sitting at what you would call an 8, and that was permanent. Getting out of bed was extremely difficult. I was battling to walk. I was battling to move. I still am, to a certain extent, battling to move. So my CRPS started in these 2 fingers and runs down the arm. But my entire arm was affected. Now, why do I say it was affected? Well, very simply put, I was in hospital in August, again, because for people like me, it's a question of when were you last in hospital? Possibly 3, 4 months ago. But I was again in hospital, and I said to my physician, look, I love my neurologist, and my neurologist eventually came to see me as well. I love my neurologist to bits and pieces. I really do. But honestly, I need somebody that's going to start scratching deeper than my neurologist. The problem in medicine is that specialized doctors are generally specialized in their fields, and their hammers or their tooling is directly related to what they're specialized in. So a neurologist will often only see neurological issues. The good thing about a physician is that he's a generalist and an investigator. And my neurologist was absolutely extraordinary. He took me on. I've known him for a while. And he started scratching, and he started offering alternative solutions to problems that I had. And we ended up with nerve blocks as one of the tools. And that's what we did. We did 9 nerve blocks, resulting in me being able to walk again. We were investigating buying me a wheelchair. And here I am, well, we're in October. This was in August. And yeah, I'm doing a live stream. So that's where I am. And if you want to know some more, as I say, I was interviewed recently, and there'll probably be another follow-up interview. And I might even get involved with that, that channel. I'll see how things go. And yeah, you'll be able to follow me there as well if I do get involved. I just don't want to overload myself, this channel and another project. are going to be the only two projects that I've got in hand. Except maybe if this new channel comes along and yeah, I'll get involved. I don't know. I really haven't made any final decisions. Now, a bit about this channel. Last time I checked, the subscriber count was at 1,933. I'm blown away that I stepped away for just over 9 months, and it's grown beyond my back. It's very surprising in a good way. So I've had a quick look at the views per month, and we're looking at about 2,400 2,400, yes, a month in the moment. But again, I haven't been around, so I'm not surprised that it's that low. However, what has surprised me, and just let me pull it up. Obviously, I don't have that specific page open, but let me open it now. Okay. Okay, watch time 131 hours. Okay. But my biggest surprise, and where do I find that? Is my most viewed videos, which, hold on, not by date, not by views. So obviously my ESPHome basic setup for all ESP devices is still popping, and by double the next one. So it won't change. But I mean, I expected my ESPHome videos to perform the best. It doesn't. So my Mosquito MQTT is number 2, my Samba Share is number 3, and my installation of the Studio Code server is number 4. Then comes the Let's Build a Room Sensor Part 1. And yes, and the rest thereof. So there is going to be changes in the channels going forward. Don't worry, ESPHome is still going to be one of the focus, actually the bigger focus. But I'm going to introduce new stuff. I'll speak about that in a second. On the income side of the channel, negligible. I'm just not going to talk about it because I might as well have had nothing. Okay, so I said the future of the channel. Now, in my last, and I took it offline, but in my last live stream, I talked about changing things a little bit, and my aim was to have one focus tutorial a week, one Home Assistant / ESPHome update video a month, one live stream every 2 months, and I'm still going towards that, though it's not going to be instantaneous. I want to reach that cadence by hopefully early next year. February, March would be nice. In the meantime, I'm going to drop when I'm going to drop. I do have a new video editor as well, being my wife, and I need to train her and I need to get her to speed. And I also have a lot of personal things to deal with, my condition being one of them. But I have, as I said, I have another project in hand. I've cleared up all my other projects. And those are the 2 that are left. I may talk about the second one at some time or some point in the future, most probably around June next year. Yes, it's that long. In the meantime, as I say, I'm going to drop videos. When I do drop videos, I'm going to do a few live streams. And those live streams are going to be addressing some things around ESPHome and Home Assistant and maybe other things. but I'll talk about that in a second. So regarding the ESPHome tutorials and Home Assistant tutorials, I'm not changing the format. I think the format works, but if you have any ideas on how to improve them, that's why there is the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. Okay. So also, as I said, there was going to be some changes to the channel. I'm going to start including other content as well, all related to home automation. Things like home lab and home labbing and workshops and tools and this kind of stuff, and I've improved my environment over time. Strangely enough, I've continued to improve my environment over the few last months. So I also want to introduce a bit of off-the-shelf stuff. These are not going to be reviews, though I'll touch on what they're able to do and the problems that I may have had. But the fact is, in some cases, it's more viable to buy off the shelf. And if you want to know those that are more viable to buy off the shelf at this point in time, anything that runs on battery. Let me see. So I have a lot of stuff from Sonoff, and here is one of them. So yeah, this is a temperature and humidity sensor. Now these things are running on batteries. The batteries last about a year. And honestly, you just stick it up, you stick it somewhere, it's on battery, you don't have to worry about it for a year. Now, obviously, if you want more than that, and I will be talking about that, for example, I'll be, in the future, I'll be talking about this fella, which is an SGS30, if memory serves me well. Actually, it says on it what it is. SPS. No, SGS. Now, SPS30, this is a PM sensor. The specific one will run from 1 to 10 and everything in between. It's not very expensive. So I think I paid $14 for it, something to that effect. For what it is, it's not expensive. Find one of these expensive. So if you want to have that kind of stuff with humidity, with a bunch of other stuff, humidity, heat, ECO2, things like that, TVOC, and and a few other things, then doing it yourself is better. You want find single sensor packages that have all of that. So I think I'll do a live stream where we can discuss this, or maybe a chat on and my mind, the worst. Yeah, a chat on Discord about it where we can all chat and we can all bring in. I don't know if I'll do it on Discord or if I'll do it on YouTube. We'll see. A few things, yes. So a few things that will change in my live streams. First of all, tutorials and live streams. First of all, I'll be introducing new MCUs. Now, I've spoken about other MCUs. When I talk about MCUs, I'm talking about ESP-based MCUs. I've talked about other MCUs in the past, but I'm expecting the ESP32 H2 and C2 to arrive next week. I have the C3 and the C3. No, wait, sorry. I have C3s and S3s. Let me show you what I have. There we are. So, oops, no, that's not what I'm looking for. Oh, we'll talk about that in a minute, obviously. This is the wrong one. Let's try this. Let's try this. This is what I was looking for. Okay, perfect. So I should actually put my head there as well. I see. So this specific sensor is the C3 Super Mini, which I will be using with I'll tell you now, or ESP Presence. Then this is an S3 Mini. So this is a C3 Mini, and you can read it at the bottom. And this is an S3 Mini, right? Not go away. Not. This is an S3 Mini. The thing is, when you put them together, you can see the difference. The chip size is very different, but that's it. Also, one thing that I've just received is this little microphone. Omnidirectional microphone. There it is, sorry. And I want to delve into voice. That means that we will delve into AI as well, most probably. And that's if you're interested, obviously, though I think a lot of people are. These are fairly inexpensive. I can't remember how much I paid for them, but you see, I've got quite a few of them. I've got about 4 or 5. I think I bought a pack of 5 for like $10, something to that effect. Oh, by the way, when I talk about dollars, I'm talking about American dollars, obviously. And yes, now there's only basically 3 of them here. This is an S3. This is an S3, but it has very little memory and very little ROM and RAM. This is an S3 with 4 megs of memories and 16 gigs of RAM, something to that effect. So this is a big boy, the big S3, R8 something 16. This is a C6. This is a C6 as well, but these are a Fire Beetle. Oops, sorry, Fire Beetle. And they are DF robots. And can I tell you something about the DF robot stuff? For prototyping, they are incredible. And I mean that in the best of ways. They really are incredible. And I absolutely, sorry, off video, absolutely love them. Let me just put everything in here so that I do not lose them. Just 1 second. So here is one of the prototypes that I've been working on. And this is actually for voice. This is on an S3 R816. This was the first microphone I've tried. It didn't work too well. And yes, it has a screen. Okay, right now the screen is useless because it's not powered. Even if I put power to it, which one? Let's see if this is going to power it up. One of them does, one of them doesn't. And I think that's the one that doesn't. That's power. Okay. Let's see if this one will work. Yes. So here it is, and you're not going to see anything. Nothing is going to happen. Let's see. Yeah, it's not. I don't even think it's. Yeah. So this is all, and I don't know if you'll even see it. It may the flashing. No, the flashing doesn't come on but basically it flashes at the same time. So this is all that's happening. And to be honest with you, I need to get back to it. This is my voice prototype. You can see there's a speaker, and I want to make it both a, hold on. Sorry, we've just retiled here and there's dust everywhere. So this way. Okay, so I want to put these on, two of them. I've got two of them, and use it as a media server as well. So it does voice, it does media serving using, what is it called again? And I'm sorry, a bit of mind fog, but nothing much. It is, and I am looking, the music assistant server. And the screen is there because it is a touch screen, number one. And to be able to show the whole media system as well. So you'll be able to push forward, backwards, play, stop, see what's playing right now, etc. on the screen. That's the idea, sorry. That's the idea behind this. So with LGVL, we can do this. And that's the idea behind that. Now, let me show you another one. Yeah, let me put this away. Now, this is also in a string. Also the R816, I think it is. You can see the dust on this badly. Badly, you can see the dust. Anyway, so here it is. This one is going to be a full room sensor. So you can see there is a light sensor, there is a temperature humidity sensor, there is a PIR, and this is a radar sensor. Okay, and there is a screen, and let me show you. Originally was supposed to go into the kitchen. So it's putting, and I'm hoping you're going to be able to see. Yes, come on. Cup. I know you would because I've used you the other day. And obviously just because Murphy. But I don't know how much you can see. And let me see on my other screen. There's a slight delay, so yeah. Okay, but that's about all I can show you. Maybe if I switch off these two, this is going to get very dark very quickly. And 1 and 2. And yeah, so there you can actually see it very nicely. So that's done with VVG, or yeah, anyway, that component, LVLG, I think it is. Yeah, I don't know why it's not hooking up, but it's not hooking up. I have to go and have a look at that, but it will give you temperature, even the CO2 when I have it, you'll see there it's there, but the actual sensor is not there. This is showing you whether we connected to Home Assistant or not, the Bluetooth, the Wi-Fi, the time, the date, and then there is all of my solar specs. And that was what this was for originally. Okay, let me disconnect it and stop with that. And I just want to go back here for you. Okay, now I want to show you okay, let me go back to my talking head. And there's my talking head. I'm back. Hello. I know, I'm being silly again. That's fine. So I spoke about the yes, LVGL. That's it. And voice assistant. I spoke about that. As I said, I'm not quite finished with the Home Assistant and Voice Assistant stuff. Sorry, the Voice Assistant stuff. The sensor that I've actually got here is the INMP, so India, November, Mother, Papa 441 Microsoft module. It's an I2S module. Okay, so I will be publishing, oh, yes, no, I'll be publishing my files as usual, and we'll get back to that because we are going to look into a few things. And I actually don't know how long I've been online. So let's have a look. I didn't look at the time that I started. I've been live streaming for how long now? That is also silly. Why can't I see how long have I been live streaming for? Ah, yes, 32 minutes. Okay, so I'm willing to stick around for a little while because I've got a few things that I want to cover. So let's see. Okay. Oh, yes. I am going to be updating all of my files on GitHub. And let me speaking about GitHub. Copy, and let's go to GitHub, my GitHub page. Now you can find my GitHub page. That's not my GitHub page. You can find my GitHub page in the links. But let me show you the GitHub page nevertheless. And we are going to go screen and talking head. So we've got, there is the GitHub page. I have, a while back, I added the ESPHome modules. And let me show you what those are. And this is the repository, obviously. And you go into the scripts. And this is what you will see. Okay. The boards. Now, quickly, the boards are split into their boards type. So this is the ESP8266. The RP that has changed in the new version, so expect a little bit of change. Now there is a Pico W, but I've also done stuff for the Pico W too. Yes, I've gotten it to work kind of. I do say kind of. It compiles and it returns data. That's about it. So back to boards, obviously, and obviously the ESP32. Now you will see the mini mic touch. There is more than that I will be adding, but yeah, there's quite a few. This one is interesting. Pull it out. Actually, I had to order it from China, and this is this one. So you'll see it has a network cable port. And yes, it is an ESP32, and yes, it is Wi-Fi capable. What it is not, though, is Wi-Fi and cable capable at the same time, from my experience. Something that I need to look into. But this is a YAML for it. There it is. And you will see YARD and the SPI for this one. And yeah, and it works. Sorry. The SPI for this one would be under common, I think, network, Wi-Fi, Ethernet. There it is. The Ethernet stuff is here. And the sensors and everything else is in here as well. Okay, so let's go back to, so those are And we'll be using, by the way, we'll be using this one a little later on, which is the .mcu. Okay, so we'll close the board, and then common is the core, and the core is, for example, the setting, standard settings, and you'll find logger, API, OTA, safe mode, MDNS, and quite a few others. I haven't changed that much since I did my tutorials on that stuff. But I'll still give you the whole lot available to you. The web server has changed. I know this for a fact. Wi-Fi, I think, has changed as well from this. So these are old ones. I will be updating these very shortly. When I say shortly, I'm hoping to do it during the week. What's in peripherals? Those are placeholders, I think, unless they came. No, those are all placeholders, sensors. That's a placeholder. Yeah, so yeah, I've got more sensors as well that I will be adding. Yes, and those are templates. These are very useful, by the way, because basically what I've done for you is I've prepared stuff that you can use. And you'll see there's quite a bit of stuff here. That's for the MyTouch. This is a C3 Mini. And the C3 Mini should be, oh, you see, in this case, it's got the PME included in there. This is this one. And yeah, there it is. And you'll see the Wi-Fi is taken out and the rest here. Okay, so, and even a sample secret for you. So there's quite a bit here. And a lot of it is directly from my either my tutorials. You see, you even have a really, there is far more to this than I've remembered. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's from my tutorials. And then, as I say, you go to Home Automator ZA, ESPHome modules, you'll find them there, and I will be updating this during the week. So expect quite a bit of updates. Okay, so let me close this and come here. And return to my talking head. Right? Talking head. You can see I haven't been doing this for a while. Okay, so moving on. There's been a lot. Oh yes. So there's been notable changes in addition this year on ESPHome, and some blew my mind and some didn't. I'm going to quickly go through the ones that really caught my attention. First of all, there is now support, native support in ESP IDF for the following, addition to the rest. ESP32C3, C6, H2. I'm waiting for an H2, by the way. S2, I'm also waiting for an S2 mini micro, whatever it is. S3 and P4. Now, P4 I am not going to work with, at least not now. A big announcement happened, I think it was this month, is that Arduino was being bought over by Qualcomm. And I don't know what that means in the long term for the Arduino framework and the Arduino IDE. However, it's happened. So at the same time, and this is massive, Arduino, the Arduino framework is now part of the ESP IDF as a component, which means that everything's been switched over, which is fantastic because, well, we need it, we can put it in, we don't need it, we don't need it. Other things that this has created or done is that our binaries are now smaller. We've got serious RAM saving. And something that I would have loved since day one, dynamic auto loading, which means it will only load into the binary what it needs, not everything that it thinks you may need. This is like great because it does shrinks the binary quite substantially. And then everything seems to be ported from Arduino to ESP-IDF. Something else that I also saw was that now we've got an external syslog for debugging, which is also great. This had to happen because of the H series of the ESP32 and the support of the thread on the S series, S3 in particular, and the whole C series. So open thread support came about, and I'll be honest with you, I read about it. I haven't gone further than that. I also saw that ESP now can now be used and to create both mesh or used as fallback. That is like, I'm happy about this. I haven't implemented it yet, but it's one of the things that I really want to do, and that's going to be sooner than later. Jinja 2 support now in ESPHome. That is really awesome for a lot of beginners, because now you have the same, I'm going to say, language being used in both Home Assistant and ESPHome. And yeah, that brings about, you don't have to learn C anymore type of thing, although I would still do it. The introduction of media player, mix and mixer for voice assistant, that was also great, which is what I use on the one that I have here. Mappings. Now that is also going to be very useful. Now you can do it manually using either Jinja or C, but mappings are there, and it's something that I think it's going to be very useful. I mean, going from voltage to wattage very easily, and the other way around, and that type of stuff. Okay. One thing that I just came across today is LoRa modules have been added. Now, I haven't seen anything around LoRa. I haven't dug, though. I haven't dug deep, but I'm going to check it, and you'll find out why a little later. There's been some very interesting Bluetooth additions, which I need to investigate as well. There's been now the cameras have a JPEG encoder. Now this is going to improve streaming quite substantially, I think in a good way. And we'll finally be able to use these little things. Sure, not one drop. Yep, I've got one right here. Or a C6, oh, sorry, not a C6, an S, these ones. Well, it's upside down actually. Or an S3 with a camera, because my S3s come with cameras, believe it or not. And my S3 R8 in 16, I think. And yeah, so that will help us quite a lot, saving bandwidth and also and things like that. I saw that now we can use a USB host and UTR. That may bring in some very interesting use cases. Sub-device support in an area, it could be helpful. And then Z-Wave proxy. It was surprising, but welcomed. Is Z-Wave coming? I don't know. Z-Wave, I think, is proprietary. It's not open source. There was also various LibreTiny improvements, but I haven't used LibreTiny, so I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be addressing either in live streams or tutorials or general videos, a lot of these during the coming months. Now, the reason why we're here. and it's been like 45 minutes. Okay, I'll try not to go beyond another 45 minutes. The weather station. Let me switch to the screen with a talking head. So this is my current implementation. As you can see, this is my, by the way, this is my live Home Assistant instance. Though what you're seeing right now is the kiosk version, because I have a few kiosks. I actually want to do a video regarding this. So what you're seeing there is identical to this. And I unplugged it like a complete idiot. Okay, so let's it restart whilst I talk about it. So this is a kiosk version of my Home Assistant instance. So you will see the left-hand side. And the left-hand side is the room stuff. So it's currently my study right here. So the temperature is 27 degrees. Oh, by the way, my dog is barking. I'm sorry about that if you can hear it. So it tells me the time. This is obviously the time in Johannesburg. And then 27 degrees is the temperature inside here. We are at 36% humidity inside my study. It feels like 27.2 apparently. The PM 2.5 is at 22, I think it's nano gram per cubic meter, and the PM 10 at 17. I can switch off and switch on and switch off my main lights. The studio lights are on. They're not showing because it's going through a script. The script actually doesn't say if it's on and off. I need to tweak it a little bit. Okay, and there is everything that's got to do with my solar. I'm currently still producing 1,216 watts. Apparently, the house is currently using 1,000 watts. Okay, and we are charging 106 watts with 98% of battery. Now, I'm going to apologize. I need to drink something. And the house is running off solar right now. Okay. Cheers. Okay. Now, what you're seeing on the right-hand side is my weather station. Outside, there is 29.5 degrees. The minimum today was registered at 21 and the max at 32. Currently, it feels like 27.8 outside. 19%, and the dew point is at 4.6 degrees with zero wind, but there has been wind today, as you can see from the graph below. The wind direction is 135 degrees southeast. Below that, scroll up a little bit, that is the barometer, and the barometer is at 990 something pascals, hectopascals, I think it is. And it's dropping. Now, dropping means that we could have rain tonight. Okay, just give me a second. I seem to have a bit of a problem on the kiosk, which I am going to fix quickly. It's not going to take time. It's need to go over there so that you know the kiosk is using MQTT for in fact, let me show you. I am going to bring it here for you. So MQTT, I'm going to scroll past all of this. And this is the one, and this is what it looks like. And I don't know, there's a bug. And the bug is that full screen doesn't come on. But here is the stuff from the MQTT, and you can refresh, and you can reboot, and you can shut down, change the theme, the volume, and there is everything. Now, it is running off a Raspberry Pi 4. And let me just switch to the talking head, because you'll see it so much better that way. And I'm not going to pull it this side. I think it will focus very quickly. So there it is. This is the kiosk. There it is. So it's using an official 7-inch screen from Raspberry Pi on a Raspberry Pi 4. Go back to the screen and talking head. There we are. On a 4 gigs, you can see 4 gigs Raspberry Pi 4. And it has an SD card in it, so nothing fancy. It's really straightforward. And this is what the kiosk looks like. Yeah, you can see there's a whole lot of other things. And yeah, I've got one in the kitchen as well, which is slightly different. We'll talk about this in a minute. Okay. I've also got a ECO2 and a TVOC sensor. So it tells me what the situation is regarding CO2 and TVOC. You can see it can get high. It can get much higher than an 870 parts per million. I've also got one of these, which I talked about earlier. Sorry, PM sensor hooked up to the weather station. Now, why don't I have the weather station with me quickly? It's on my roof. And honestly, I didn't feel like bringing it down. Works, it's on my roof. That's well where it is. Cheers. Don't worry. Just orange. So there is, so I guess he's also able to control downstairs, upstairs, lights, give me, in fact, I'm just going to show you downstairs. You'll see that the lights for the studio are on, and a bunch of lights in my garage. And yeah, this one isn't available. It's the one that I showed you earlier, and this is outside. So that I will also show you my 3D printer. It's very useful because now I know how much there is left. And I don't have to go and scratch. I just tap it and on the screen, and there it is. It will show me. It shows me that my doorbell, it also pops up when the doorbell is rang, or if there is something that breaks my my lines. This is the weather predictions. There's nothing here that is very useful, except maybe today was 32 max, and it's going to get cooler, which is nice. And yes, there is a bit of clouds, which is also nice. The weather station, and then my energy. There it is. This is the forecast for cost. See, I've got a, but this is my energy forecast and my energy actual. So yeah, I see that I'm using as much grid as I am solar in the moment. And that's probably because we are using the air conditioner during the night. And yeah, those do use quite a bit. Practically 2 kilowatt-hour all night. So it drains the batteries relatively quickly. I do, I think, 4 or 5 hours with them. I've got 10 kilowatt hour of batteries. So yeah, that's drain them quite fast. But we are here to talk about the station. So this is the station, and I'm just gonna close that. That's without the kiosk. And you saw earlier on question mark kiosk, and everything else disappears. If you want a tutorial on how to do this, shout in the comments below, and I will do you a tutorial. It's not very complicated, but maybe I should do a tutorial about it. Okay. So this is where we're sitting right now. Let me first talk about the weather station itself. This is the weather station. I actually imported that directly from PCBWay. That's what the board looks like. There is a bit more. This is actually what it looks like as a whole. There's more, you can see it. So I printed this in PTG, and yes, I've got all of this as well hooked up to it, plus a few other things. Now he wants to use a BME 280, and yeah, I've got a BME 280. I've got a DS18P20. I've got wind speed, wind direction, rain. These two I do not have. I've got others. And I use different sensors than he does. But this is where you can get it, and I will leave the URL in description below and on the files when once I put them up. So I wanted to show you this. Yes, it's got the solar panel as well with the battery. I've just ordered this one, this unit, which is version 4, and it's pretty different. And I'm just going to go down. Blah, 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 blah. So it still uses a BME and all of this, and this, but it also uses this one. And that one, oops, is this. So look at the size difference. They both do the same thing. So they both do the same thing. Difference is that fan works permanently, whereas this one doesn't. The two PM different PM sensors. And I'm also putting other little things because there is extra stuff. One of the things that you can do with this one is you can use a LiPo battery, which changes things quite substantially. I'm just going to go down. Where is the home? There it is. Sorry. This is what I was looking for. There. This one's got a no, I forgot. I talked about it earlier on, and my brain has just left the building. A LoRa module. So you have the ESP32, which is a 32U, and you've got the LoRa module here, BME280 soil sensor, which I will not have. Programming port. Yes, you do. not have a USB per se, although there is a USB here. It doesn't allow for programming, it's only for power. So the PMS 503 is that one I showed you. You have a UV sensor, lux sensor, two auxiliaries, and the DS18 V20. Solar panel, battery, power, and a battery. There are two versions of this. This is not the other version. Does he have the other version in here? Sorry, I'm looking to see if he's got the, because I've ordered the, there is the other version of this. So this is a version that I have ordered. And as you can see, there is the USB is there and everything else is there. It's slightly different, but you can put the LiPo battery. So I will not be putting this this battery. I will be putting a far more capable LiPo battery. And there it is. I might do a video just to show you what it looks like and how this is a receiver, by the way, and how I will be putting it together. So there we are. But this is version 4. See, you have to program it that way. I've got the programmer. If you don't have a programmer yet, these USB little thingies that you can put into, you need one. This is basically a USB to UART serial. Okay, so yeah, blah 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 blah. Yeah, all of these things. Okay, I'm not going to go much further with this. I don't see the value of carrying on. You've seen weather stations before. And if you haven't, you will see one in detail soon enough. Okay. So I'm going to be here, and this is where I'm going to be. What I've done is I've prepared just the basics. And when I say just the basics, it's really just the basics. This is my header. This is station version 2, weather station, sorry, version 2. Here is a link to it. What will we have? An MCU ESP32S. These are the services and hardware that I will be enabling. The sensors, I've already talked about it very quickly, but just to recap, temperature, humidity, and barometric pressure, which is a BME 280, followed by a temperature sensor, the DS18B20. I said that I wouldn't be using the same than him. I've got a UV index and lux light sensor, and it is an LTR390. The UV index I still have to refine. Then I have an ECO2 TOC sensor, CS811. I have an anemometer and meter, wind vane, and rain gauge. Okay, so that's what's on it. I've got my substitutions already ready. The common packages are there except one. So this one is missing because, well, so what I have done is copied everything that's on my GitHub. Well, actually, it's the latest version that's not on my GitHub yet, and put it in here. The file that we'll be using for the ESP32 is the S node MCU, this one. So I'm going to put that up. S underscore node MCU dot YAML. Now, in the event that you're wondering what there is in the S node MCU, here it is. It's still running off the Arduino. I am going to change that. Maybe I should do it now. No, that's Arduino as well. Odd. Oh, I'm having one of the, there is the an IDF. Type ESP IDF. So I like copying and pasting because I know that if I do, and this is dangerous. So version latest can stay. Okay. Let's make sure that there is nothing else I'm missing. I'm not going to put any of these things. The variant is irrelevant in this case, so we should be fine. Okay. Let's say this. Okay, I need the I2C. I do not need the yard, and I do not need the SPI. The sensors are standard, so that's fine. But I'm going to leave everything in this version. Let me close the board. So this is the Node MCU settings. Now, if you haven't seen my settings before, Command Core settings, and all it is the name, friendly name, the logger, which is relatively important. I may add, in fact, I may not add, I will add the syslog, but possibly not in here. We'll see. The API stuff, the secrets are coming from the secrets file, which I will not open. OTA, and you'll see that the OTA platform has changed a little bit. MDNS, which to me is very important. I do not name IPv6 in this case. Binary sensors, that is the status sensor. That is the new ESP, no, that's the ESP version. And then uptime has changed. I used to have a whole thing about the uptime. The uptime is now included as part of ESPHome. And then platform restart and safe mode. So basically nothing fancy about this, very similar to a flat file. What I am going to do now, and this is how I function. Oh yes, and then there is the home assistant include for time. Let me show you that. Time, home assistant, and that's all it is. Really, it's very big, as you can see. Why did I put time separately? Simply because GPS, which is not working currently, by the way. I need to figure out why. Okay, so I'm going to close this. I'm going to leave that open. What else? We need to look at the network Wi-Fi so that you can see what there is there. Network Wi-Fi. And those are the globals just to set up stuff at the beginning. Wi-Fi network. And those are, again, very standard stuff. The only thing that might be shocking you is this, the man.local. But yeah, and fast connect through so that it will reconnect to the same AP all the time. Captive portal, which should work nowadays with framework. Wi-Fi signal and where it sits in the web server and a whole lot of other stuff that I've done. You'll see the results in a minute. Text sensors, this has to do with the IP address, SSID, MAC address, stuff that you've seen before. And all I've done is I've just added a few things, icons and names, descriptive names and web server stuff. And this is all web server stuff. Yes, this is something just to show you a icon. Those are the switches. Yes, you can switch off the radio, which wouldn't be very clever, right? The interval is 10 seconds, and it just resets every 10 seconds or check if it's connected or not connected. Okay, so we finish with Wi-Fi and web server, which is over here. Very simple. These are for the web server, by the way. And those are just locations. Okay, I will go into grouping and sorting groups of web server at a point or another. Okay, so what do we want to do now? What we want to do now is come back here and go to ESPHome Builder. And you will see it's offline. I've never built it. And we will go over here, install. And yes, we're going to use manual download. All we want to know is if it's going to build it. And it's going to download everything that it needs to download because it's the first time that obviously we're doing this. And it's creating the environment, downloading the required IDF files for 5.5.1. Installing it. Sorry, this may take a second or two. So many people. Oh, only 2 people are in here with me with 42 views. Wow. And we've been 1 hour, 13 minutes and 32 seconds. Great. I think this is one of the longer parts of the process is when you first compile it, which is also why I do what I call a clean compile. Come on. Whilst I think about it, if you want me to put some music behind me for having some stuff whilst I don't talk, maybe again down in the comments, please. At least it accepted the YAML, which is good. Oh, so a little about the server that I use, or rather the dedicated server that I use for Home Assistant. What you're seeing there, it's a Raspberry Pi 5, 8 gig. I've since then found that the 8 gig is a bit an overkill, but it is an 8 gig Raspberry Pi 5. and it has a 256 gig SSD attached to it through its PCI port. So it is relatively fast, as you can see. I have looked at the differences in between running it on the Raspberry Pi 5 with that configuration and on a virtual machine with very similar configuration. And I can tell you, I don't see the difference whatsoever. Sorry. So I run it onto the Raspberry Pi 5. It gets backed up daily at 1 o'clock in the morning. And it uses the 1-2-3 method, which means that 1 on the device, 2 on, 1 on the device, 2 on my NAS, which is dedicated for backups, and 3 in the cloud. So chances of me losing my configuration is very slow. And because I've got 4 Home Assistant devices running, or rather 4 Home Assistant instances running. 2 of them are on Raspberry Pis. The second one is on the Raspberry Pi 4 and on an SD card. And you're going to tell me, how can you do that? It does nothing. It passes stuff. All it's there for is passing data through from my inverter, my solar inverter, to MQTT. That's all it does all day. And it doesn't even get hot. I think that the hottest that I've seen it was something like 35 or 35 degrees or something to that effect. Well, it's built. Now you're going to say to me, yes, Pascal, but it's built, but we can't see the results. Yes, we are not doing the results yet. And the other thing is that it says to me it's online, which is something that I wanted to see. I am going to kill it though. Okay, so it's not plugged into that. We're going to wirelessly do it. The good thing is now it doesn't need to recompile it. It doesn't need to download anything. It will just send it. Oh, so it's still recompiling. Okay. Let it recompile. So I see that there are 4 people in the room with me and no chatting. So where are you guys from? If you don't mind telling me. Yep, it's uploading, which is a good sign, I guess. And I've killed my weather station. Okay. So we definitely have data coming through. And why can't I visit it? I'm sure that I've got a web server enabled. The web server is definitely enabled. Okay, let's try to visit it. So admin and super password. Okay. Apparently my password doesn't work. Is this one? Yep. Okay. So here we are. Right. Yeah, it would be fair. It's quite a way. So nobody wants to tell me where they are connecting from. Okay, fine. Yeah, my IP address, SSID, fair, and then temperature is at 47 degrees. It's hot outside. And yes, for my American friends, 118 Fahrenheit. I've thought about you. And Wi-Fi diagnostic, which you don't usually have, is all here. Now you'll find that there is no DNS address because it doesn't talk to any DNS. Okay, so I'm happy with that. What time is it? How long have I been online? Oh, I said I would do 1:30 and we're at 1:21. So I'm going to cheat. You can say, how are you going to cheat? Well, this way. I do not feel like typing stuff. So I'm going to copy and paste, just like this. Yeah. So this is a BME 280, and the file is from I2C BME 280. And we are going to go into it so that you can see it. It is in Census and in I2C, and it is a BME 280 YAML. Okay, so what does the BME 280 YAML say? First, it's the I2C version. Now, I had an enormous fight with Gemini, the AI from Google, regarding this. He says this is what it's supposed to look like. No, this is what it's supposed to look like, so that we are both on the same or all on the same frequency. In fact, if you go directly to I'm going to open it for you. Okay. And I'm going to go down and you can clearly see, well, no, you can't clearly see, but it says I2C or SPI. And that's the way it is. So there. Okay. Sorry. No, this is not where we want to be. This is where we want to be. So here you have a whole lot of, well, the I2C address is specified right here in the source file, what I call the master file. Okay. And then the device internal name is also coming from the master file, which is this one. Okay. Internal true. What this says is that you are not going to show it to Home Assistant. And yes, it is disabled by default as well on the web server. Okay, then pressure. I send the pressure to, okay, where do I, so the first one, sorry, temperature. I'll also update these two, the Fahrenheit and the Celsius. And this is the Fahrenheit. And you'll see it does some calculations. And every time it gets updated, it redoes the calculations. Same thing here. Redoes, and you will see it says here, update interval never. Because I force the update using component update this. Okay. Same story for pressure. I force it. And humidity, same story again. Now, there are various reasons why I do that, most of which have to do with the way that I lay things out. And you'll see humidity and pressure. And if I want to do calculations and stuff like that, it's all here. And the dew point is also calculated here. On the dew point, the This is from the sample directly from ESPHome, by the way. I've changed it a little bit, but that's it. Okay, so shall we try it? So let's rebuild. Let's just close this. Let's rebuild this one. Install wirelessly. Now, whilst it does that, I'm going to close this. I have never tested it on the device, by the way. Yes, it's going to recompile everything because now it has to check what it requires and just introduce what it requires. And whilst this is happening, I am going to have another drink. And it's still orange juice. And to my great chagrin, there is no vodka in it. Yeah, unfortunately, that's, as I said, that's a long process, and I can't speed it up. And I cannot speed it up. All right. Once this is happening, let me open a new window here. Okay, I just want to check something. I should. Yes, I do. And we're up. We're going to say stop. We're going to go here, refresh. And guess what? We have some data from outside. So the dew point is not calculated yet. That's all it is. It will take a second to get calculated. And it will update. We've got our first master update. Come on, dew point, come on. No. Sometimes it takes a second. But yes, we've got data, and if we show home, we've also got, you see how cleanly this is. Cleanly shown this is, and not so cleanly this is. And that's why I hide it, by the way. Yeah, there it's calculated at 4.9. Okay, perfect. Yeah, if you've never seen this, this is graphing. Okay, refresh, and we are happy people because we're getting data. Example. Okay. So we're going to come back here, There's one little thing that I want to do because we don't need those two. Most of them, well, not most, all of my devices are to So we're going to remove both of those. Hopefully this won't trigger a full rebuild. Let's see. It's actually triggering more than a full rebuild. So you'll see that this happens quite a bit. You do a small change and everything just gets rebuilt. But I really wanted to do this. Yeah, tools. No, that's Ninja, not Ginger. Okay, so this is going to take a little bit of time, and I think that after that, what I will do is I'll put a few of the others in one go. We'll do a final rebuild, and yeah, we'll leave it to that. What do you think? I'm just hoping that this kind of format is interesting to you. This is explained live, and you can also see my thinking behind it and how I approach things. I say I hope this is going to be useful to you. And if this is useful to you, I will do and just go for a like. And if you haven't subscribed, go for a subscribe. But if this is useful to you, just, as I say, like, subscribe, and leave a note at the bottom just for interaction. As I say, I am restarting, and I don't know if I'll do one next week, but by the following week, definitely, I'll do another live stream. It's just that, yeah, it takes me so much time to do a decent video. I need to write it. I need to make sure that everything runs properly at the end of the day, and that you wouldn't have any problems using the code, and that my explanations are good. That all counts for me. The quality is very important to me. So yeah. Let's see, what time is it? It is 17:23 in Johannesburg. So 5:30, nearly 5:30 in the afternoon. Ah, come on. Okay. So now it's gonna, yeah, do the firmware and send the firmware. One thing we didn't look is actually the sizes of the firmware. Something that we need to look at in the future. And okay, and OTA successful. Come on. There we are. We're up live. We should have exactly the same data without any issues whatsoever, which we do. Okay. Now, as I said, let's move things along. And moving along is going to happen with me copying all of this. Now, the SPS30 I know has a problem, but that means that I have to go and fix it up there. And to be honest with you, it's not something that I look forward to right now. But it shall be done. And when it is done, I will tell you why things have failed. So I'm just adding all of the. This is directly from my flat file. And if you're wondering where my flat file is, there it is. There it is. This is the flat file. So now the flat file works. So I've just added in one swoop the LTR 390, the CSS 811, the anemometer, the wind vane, rain gauge, and the SPS 30. I will, because I wonder if data also add the one wire, which will fall here. One wire which will fall here. Yes. Okay, that should work. I haven't tested it. And then the Dallas sensor, which is why we need the one wire. So the Dallas sensor is here. I do have the address for it. The address is in the original file. Come on. See, I used to have a lot of other stuff in it which I've removed, or which I'm removing, because A, I'm not using it. Yeah, no, I'm not even using the address, but this is the address for it. I think I may have changed it though. Okay, you know what? Cross fingers, touch wood. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, we'll have to figure out why. And install and wirelessly and error. Okay. ESPHome sensor analog ESPHome doesn't exist. That doesn't help. Yes, it does. Ah, come on. Rename. We're not interested by this one. We are interested by you know what? No, that's right. Science schools, that's right. Rename. Control copy. Copy. Okay. To take that. Put that in. Sensors. And log. Spoken button. Oh, this one is not going to work because it's underscore. In vain. and ring gauge. Yeah, looks right. Looks right to me. What's about I'm going to be looking very silly again. Store baseline is an invalid. Sorry. Baseline. And that is I2C. And we said it was any day. This is T-Work. Let's see, maybe they've changed it. If not, I'll have to go and have a look at the smartphone. That I know what it is. That I can fix very quickly. And this is this. I've changed some stuff. So this was, where was our error again? In this, one direction. Okay. So it was an analog. One way. See, sometimes copy and paste does bring some problems. And just check that there isn't another one like that. The if then else, yeah, blah 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 blah. Yeah. Okay, that looks fine. Okay, let's try it. No. Retry. Pulse counter. That would be here. Yep. And would this one have the same story? Let's have a quick look. Nope. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Let's save everything on the other way, Pascal. Let's retry. Ooh. That's because I killed it for now. This is Sparkling. See, copy paste from my old one, and I've taken stuff out. And this is what happens. Okay. This is what happens. Okay. Pin 25 on pulse counter. And it is pin 25. Next to sure it's pin 25. Okay, now I'll have to come back to this one, but with the station. This was the anonymous, that meter, pulse meter, no. Template, DC, one direction, no. Where is wind speed? Direction. Wind speed. Yeah. GPIO 14. Yeah, GPIO 14. Interesting. What if I don't know? What if I don't know? I'm sure you're screaming at me. Okay, let's go. It's definitely 14. That's right. And 25. Oh, rain gauge. Yeah. Rain gauge. And it's definitely 25 here. Which was this direction. Just mode input. Is that the problem? Oops, that's not going to work. Why is over there? Pin number, mode input. Rather use as true. Better true. Mode no. Okay. And I wanted this to be so short. This is supposed to be the easy part. Ah, yeah. Let me just see if that works. And if it doesn't, this looks good. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it off as soon as this is up and running. Yeah, I think in 2 weeks we'll have another one. If this is not working, I will probably just put the video up. With the explanation of how I got it working. But it is adding everything it needs to. So in a minute, we'll know. In a minute, we'll know. I hope, though, that you've enjoyed. That's what it's a warning. That you've enjoyed the live stream. And that I've clarified a few things about the channel and where we're going and what we're doing. I don't think there'll be a tutorial before the next live stream. I don't know what I'm going to do for the next live stream, to be honest with you. So, but I'm going to prepare something for you guys. I'm thinking maybe redoing a step-by-step with the kiosk might be a good idea, but tell me what you want. I'm willing to do a kiosk one. To get the step-by-step will be to get the kiosk working. Not the Home Assistant side of things, because the Home Assistant side of things really is very straightforward. It's up and running. Okay, let's cross fingers, touch wood, and hope for the best. Okay, we're gonna refresh, and what do we get? Oh, look at that! Look at that! The amount of data we are getting. Yes, so this is a problem that I'm having right now. This is totally impossible because the sensor doesn't go up that high. So I am suspecting that there is a bit of a glitch somewhere. Yeah, I'm going to have to find what the story is there. This would update eventually. See, I need to rename. Yeah, I need to rename these. I need to do some cleanup here and there. And start blah, 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 show all, and you'll see there's so much more data in here. I need to do quite a bit of cleanup and renaming and making sure that everything's correct. And I'll be able to use that. Yeah. So it's working. Yeah. I will post all of this. So when I say all of this, I'm going to post all of this, and I'll put the weather station with it as well. After I've cleaned up things and that I will feel that it's good enough. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, it is 17:43 in Johannesburg. And I can't tell you how hot it is outside, but it is 27 degrees and 39. Oh, yes, I can tell you how hot it is outside. I've got it right here. Where is the temperature? 31.1 degrees is the temperature. So there you are. That's outside, and 18% humidity. I don't expect any rain. I don't expect a major storm tonight. I might add a few things to this, to the news station. And if you just joined me, I talked about the news station earlier on. And yeah, so, it's dark outside. It is too. It's getting very dark outside. So yeah, earliest next stream next week. I'm going to try to do about 4 o'clock South African Standard Time, and I'll do another hour and a half, depending on things. I'm going to look into a whole lot of things this week. So, by the way, why did I restart this week? Very simple. I got rid of a lot of my other projects recently. As of Friday, I've wrapped off quite a few things. So yeah, it's that's why. And let me see what I can do to fix this up and give you some clean files to work from. You have a fantastic week, and or 2 weeks, and I shall see you soon.